Have you ever wondered what kind of attire and jewelry people of Ladakh wear? Well, the traditional livestock rearing has enabled people of Ladakh to protect themselves and their loved ones from harsh winters.
These are the mix of both Buddhist and Muslim faiths.
In the 2nd to 1st centuries BC, the Seleucid influence in the zone was replaced by that of the Greek Bactrians, who represented the easternmost representatives of Hellenism. Then, in the 1st century AD, these were overrun by the Kushana tribe from Central Asia, who were related to the Scythians. The Kushana Empire, which extended from Central Asia to northern India, was defeated at the start of the 3rd century by Huns from Central Asia. In 842, the king of Tibet, Glandamar, was assassinated. Some of his successors carved out the small kingdom of Nagri at the mountain Kailash. This, at its southern tip, included the area of Ladakh.
Ladakh, truly described as high altitude cold arid desert, is one of the far most eastern regions of J&K state. Because of unfavorable and hostile environment prevailing over the region, cultivation is limited to a very less scale. Ladakh is a mountain hilly area. Although the region is covered with snow for most of the year, it has a chronic lack of water resources.
So, in clothing, first comes goncha. It is a traditional Ladakhi robe, a thick woolen robe called goncha, and accessories worn with it are tippi, which is a Ladakhi hat, lokpa, a thick cloak worn by women only, and by men, a bok shawl is worn and a tasazar. It is worn by all the sexes in Ladakh. It is accompanied with a colorful robe tied around their waist. Women's robe flares downwards with small pleats accentuating it into a flowy gown. Next in the list is Koskar. It is Changpa nomads clothing. To the east near the Chinese border lies Changthang, a small plateau home to nomads called Changpa. They have different tradition, costumes and dialed with Tibetan influence. In Changpa clothing, most prominent side of their clothing is whitish thick robe, also known as lava goncha. Reasons of wearing it: due to their pastoral lifestyle and climate conditions, it is exceptional warm and rugged. It is worn to protect them from extreme cold. Next comes the pirak, a traditional Ladakhi hat. It is composed of a strap of leather studded with semi-precious stones such as lapis lazuli and turquoise. It is given to the eldest daughter in the house by her mother on her marriage. It is a symbol among the Ladakh of the rank and economic status of the women wearing it. The jewels themselves are representative of the Ladakh deities protecting and guiding the wearer through the dangerous human world. Next come Yugar and Lokpa. This is another distinct grab worn only by women around shoulders to cover their back. The cloak is made of sheepskin with woolen part facing inside touching the body of a wearer. Outside it's usually printed or covered with a green fabric accented with patterns of red and silk brocade to look appealing. Now comes Jugin, which is a Ladakhi Muslim headdress. In the Muslim community of Ladakh, the pirak is replaced by jugin. The women adorn themselves with jugin, especially on their wedding day. The ornaments consist of a block of gold with tassels of pearls hanging from her forehead, followed by a beautiful design, see though draped with embroidery which covers her face and back.
About the lifestyle of people in Ladakh. Like the land itself, the people of Ladakh are usually quite different from those of the rest of India. Some millennium or more years ago, these Ladakhis migrated from Tibet. Probably this widely weighed down the culture of the arts and eliminated their ethnic features. In central and eastern Ladakh, the recent inhabitants appear to be classically of the Tibetan origin. Towards west, in and around Kargil, the Ladakhis look forward a mixed origin. Probably this widely weighed down the culture of the arts and eliminated their ethnic features. In central and eastern Ladakh, the recent inhabitants appear to be classically of the Tibetan origin. Towards west, in and around Kargil, the Ladakhis look forward a mixed origin. Education in Ladakh. In the contemporary world, education plays a predominant role in shaping one's life. Education is the only tool that provides us with knowledge, information, skill, technique, enables us to know our rights and duties towards a family, society, as well as the nation. The Union Territory of Ladakh have steadily improved in education indicators. Till now, Ladakh has been following the 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern like the other states of India. However, as per the new education policy passed with the Government of India, the pattern would shift to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, and the same will be implemented in the state. Is education really important in the state of Ladakh? Education works as an essence in eliminating the socio-educational disparity. It also works as a source of power vested upon humans that helps us climbing the social ladder, following a legitimate process. Hence, for the development of the state of Ladakh and to improve its standard of living, it is important for the government to work tirelessly on making the educational system in Ladakh impeccable, especially when it comes to the condition of the government schools in the state. The state of Ladakh holds a literacy rate of 77.2%, showing an average literacy rate in the state. The rate compared to the country can be said to be average. The main reason behind it is because of the lack of involvement of the families and the villages in Ladakh. About the occupation of people in Ladakh, 90% of them depend on agriculture based on the Indus River for their livelihood. The main agricultural products are barley, wheat, buckwheat, peas, rapeseed, and beans. Apples and apricots are grown in warmer regions of low altitude. Ladakh is well known for its rich culture. The Ladakhi people are very hardworking and have productively used the rich natural resources. Sheep rearing is another profession of the Ladakhi people. In Ladakh, the herders are known as Shangpas. They take care of the long shaggy goats and sheep from whose underfleece the famous Kashmiri Pashmina shawls are made. Shangpas reside in tents and are roaming, traveling from place to place in hunt of meadows. To conclude, life in Ladakh is infused with great stability and peacefulness. While there is no denying that life in Ladakh involves hard work, the people enjoy a substantial amount of leisure, highlighted by lengthy and elaborated weddings, funerals, and religious celebrations. The culture is rich and colorful, centering around the beliefs and practices of the Tibetan Mahayana Buddhism, the predominant religion.
Houses in Ladakh have evolved over countries, the harsh climate and a thriving Buddhist culture being the two main influences over the centuries. An understanding of traditional house and how it responds to social and environmental factors is a key to any successful shelter initiative. For centuries, these houses have allowed Ladakhis to lead a self-sufficient life. Majorly three stories in houses, which are east-facing as it is considered auspicious and clustered to reduce heat loss. Of the house is like the ground floor is animal shelter, helps to warm upper levels of the house. Courtyards around the house act as pens for animals. First floor consists of kitchen, bedrooms, husband and wife sleep separately from children. Food storage area, toilets and washing area. Roof courtyard, family chapel, elevated position, guest room, bedroom and summer rooms. Houses are built using stones, timbers, and mud in various forms, such as sun dried mud bricks and rammed earth for plastering floors and roofs. Of broad walls, wooden floor, and thin ceiling. Their tents are called robu. Their goats are their only treasure. They live higher up in the places because of making their cattle graze. Have flat roofs. Flat roofs are made up of clay, mud, and straw. Passive solar design takes advantage of a building's location and climate with use of materials such as earth and local resources that will lead to low or almost nil use of energy for heating all through the day and still provide sufficient natural light. Falls were originally designed to stand amid snow and heavy leaks through summer rainfalls. Not just the old houses, traditional farming practices are also facing the heat of climatic uncertainty. Traditional construction styles have evolved over generations using local material and providing protection from cold climate.
Food plays an important role in our culture and community. It unites us. Ladakhi food is the traditional food of the Ladakhis. The staple diet consists of barley, sampa, butter tea, kholak, bread, paba, and other seasonal crops. Barley is the principal crop in the diet. It is usually roasted and ground for the dishes like sampa, shang, and kholak. Sampa is a glutinous meal made from roasted barley flour and sometimes also with wheat flour. Shang is the local beer made from barley. People drink it to stay warm. Kholak is the most commonly used food that involves no cooking. The dish is the ultimate quick and easy food item. Its flour is made by grinding roasted grains of barley, foxtail millet, or wheat to a fine powder. Kholak is made by adding the powder to any liquid or semi liquid and brought to a consistency. Coming to another staple dish is butter tea. Butter tea is a salted tea made by boiling tea with baking soda and salt in a samovar. Afterwards, a large lump of butter is added. This butter specially is churned in wooden apparatus and milk is usually yaks. There are a lot of varieties in breads like tago buskuruk, tagi khamnor, etc. If we talk about a main bread used every day with butter tea is tago buskuruk. Buskuruk means unleavened. It is mainly made of dough which is similar to tago shamro. But the rounds are made thicker and small in size. They are cooked but allowed to puff up and then out in the ashes of stove or fire. Traditionally, it is backed on a plate placed on a cow dung fire, covered with another plate and more dung, and then get baked. Another food item, and which is popular in any class, it is the paba. It is a healthy dish. Paba flour is called yachis, which includes barley or wheat or both in any of the legumes like peas, broaded beans, or lettuce to make it more nutritious. Traditionally, paba is cooked in a special stone pot called dholtak and that other dishes and soups are served with it. Ladakh is a mountain hilly area, but regarding the interventions made by various research and developmental institutions, there has been a tremendous improvement in diversity, quantity, and quality of cultivated crops, and therefore around 64 different kinds of vegetables can be grown in Ladakh, like barley, potatoes, tomatoes, apples, and apricots, etc. Ladakhi have good nutritious diet along with good taste and presentation on point.
Buddhism archaeological evidence shows that Ladakh was inhabited by people during the Neolithic age. Prior to the rise of empires, the pastoral life was the order of the world, and each nomadic tribe followed its own religious cults of shamanism, animism, and ancestor worship. It is believed that Ladakh's ancient religion was a collection of such practices till Buddhism, promoted by the mighty Indian empires, spread in Ladakh through Kashmir and later to Tibet through Ladakh. With the rise of Islamic states, areas close to Kashmir was influenced by Islam.
Ladakh, truly described as high altitude cold arid desert, is one of the far most eastern regions of J&K state. Because of unfavorable and hostile environment prevailing over the region, cultivation is limited to a very less scale. Ladakh is a mountain hilly area. Although the region is covered with snow for most of the year, it has a chronic lack of water resources.
Coming to the conclusion, Ladakhi is a beautiful tribe which follows some norms, do some practices. They have balance to every domain. People live there with unity which is dependent on culture. They are very connected with their culture